Do aliens exist?
Yeah.
Hell no. Fuck no. Fuck no. I mean, there's no. No, hell no. No, I don't believe in aliens, bro. It's us.
Fuck it.
The higher being, bro.
That's us. We should rock it out.
Let me put it
He's on
this
some
way.
King Kong shit.
Do you believe there's other humans on different planets?
Nah,
No?
nah.
So you probably don't believe that shit that fucking Neil.
You gonna tell me that if there was, we wouldn't have gone to war already with them? All these years?
You did?
What?
History books. My history books that I read back in 19...
Columbus. If you want to be technical, history books do say otherwise. Also, Canada and the United States have released official documents saying that they have made different...
That's that shit they make at Universal Studios, bro.
No,
I mean, history books also show that Christopher Columbus discovered.
I can't believe the history books.
The history books also showed in my lifetime that Pluto was a planet, and not a planet, then a planet, not a planet. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
I don't remember much about history. It wasn't my strong subject.
Neil deGrasse Tyson says that he believes that there's multiverses, meaning there's like 30 different versions of you. Do you believe that? Happening
Hell
at the same
nah.
time.
Hell no.
That shit ain't.
Nah, that's not real.
That shit ain't.
That's not real, man. Because even your offspring, I mean, even though they're your offspring, they have like very close characteristics and like very similar like things, you know, alike, like, you know, traits, but they're not identical.
Right.
You know, you're still your own individual, you know what I mean?
So you don't think there's like, right now, some other dimension, there's
me.
another Rene that's just
Nope.
LA 40 maybe.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
This is just me.
It's just you.
This
No,
is
how
me.
about you, Greg?
I think if there was, I think I would have already met the person.
But
Right.
you
Or-
see, that's different because if you understand the multiverse, you wouldn't meet the person.
Yeah.
Because that would be...
Man, y'all talking about like Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse type shit now.
Well, that's the most newest shit we kind of like, you know, related to. But it's something that's been talked about for. I mean, it's where the movie came from. It's something that's that's been talked about.
Nah, man, I don't. Man, I don't believe in none of that.
No.
Nah, hell no.
You believe?
I mean, I was raised like, you know, Catholic church, Catholic school my entire life, and that's kind of like all I know. And then, you know, just being in that environment and, you know, people talking about things like that, I'm just like, man, I don't believe that. You know, maybe it's just the way I was brought up.
So do you believe? So then you do believe that on the Catholic side of things, you do believe those?
Yeah, I believe those.
Of all that.
I believe that, you know, like, but like even like sometimes like, you know, there's a bunch of cats in my neighborhood, and there's this black cat that always like, man, why you always gotta walk in front of me? Because there's always like superstition, right? You always talk about superstition, and I'm like, damn, I saw a black cat. I'm like, nah, I don't believe in that shit, and I walk away from it, you know, like I don't believe in that shit, even though, you know, like everyone, if a black cat crosses your path, you know, it's bad luck, or you break glass, or your mirror, or whatever. Like,
Do you know why they say that for black cats?
no, I don't. I mean, I really don't.
It's because usually they pass by, what they say is that they have more senses, so they can see other things that we can't see in energy fields, and they'll pass by to let you know not to go down that path because it could be some type of energy that doesn't interact with this plane.
Oh, fucking cat.
So that's their way of saying, you know what I mean?
So just cats in general, and then they happen to label it.
Cats in general.
But
That's
it
why
just
they
happens to be
avoid
the
it.
black cat
Right.
that they use that's depicted in this.
Well, the reason I see this cat every night, man. Like when I take my dog out, that's the cat that's outside. Yeah, but he's a black cat, but he got like this little white, like a little white little patch, and that's how I identify him. I'm like, see his front, you know, like you can see his eyes are, but then you see that little white dot, you know, that's that.
So you break a mirror, walk in a ladder, who gives a fuck?
I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I fuck
no,
with-
for sure.
yeah,
I can't live
you know.
like, cause I can't live that way either. As far as like, if I break a mirror, I'm just thinking for the next 7 years I'm about to, you know, like ain't no way I'm living that way.
Nah, man,
or
like-
walking under a ladder, I'm, you know, like hell no, I'm
Nah.
not living that way.
Hell no.
You scared of walking under a ladder.
Nah,
You know what I'm saying?
I can't do that.
What the fuck is my name? Shit. Aliens cats and fucking, you know. But anyways, bro, shit, man, how you been?
I'm good.
Good.
Lack of sleep, but I'm good.
Lack of sleep. What are you on? A couple hours?
I'm on 4 hours right now.
4 hours sleep.
but
Shit, man.
Better than 0.
That's goddamn. That's a fact, right?
I'm on positive 4.
See, that's. So you're a dude that looks at shit always on the bright side.
Yeah, you have to.
What I'm saying? Hey, man, I swear, since the moment I met you, right? There's probably not another individual that I probably talk about more since I've like met you. Every time I run into people or I'm just talking business and shit like that, like I always bring you up. You know, you're just a fucking genius with everything that you do, man. And so with that, I want to you know, go a little in depth with that, and you know, kind of what's your background first of all?
Man, my background, that's crazy because I grew up in construction with my pops, and that kind of led me to like wanting to do something similar or related, and so I pursued architecture.
Yeah.
I did architecture for 2 years, 3 years, and then like back in 2008, that's when the recession hit. That kind of threw a curveball like for my career, and it was like I was out of work for like about 1.5 years, almost 2 years. And so I went back to school during that time. I just did some like PM construction management classes, and ever since then, like 2010, all I've been doing is just like PM work, you know, project management.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, you know, even though my school background is architecture, like my work related is more like, you know, management, project management. But man, the design's always been there, and so like. I've never, the need to create. Like there's like, if I'm not creating or doing something or thinking something, I don't feel like I'm being productive. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Most people don't get that, you know. People are always like, man, why can't you just sit down and relax? I'm shocked I'm sitting down right now, but it's probably because it's like part of, you know, it's the duty, right? But yeah, it's hard to relax. You know, you got your mind going. And then, you know, ideas always come and you want to kind of like bring them to life. And even though you can't bring everything to life, you at least kind of keep thinking about it. And I don't know, man, when you think, you just keep generating more ideas, and it just kind of drives you crazy sometimes. But yeah, man, the creative side has always been there.
So that's what led into,
so yeah.
Between that, the year off, right, the itch, the want, the need to create. Because I understand that 100%. That eventually led into the LA 3D and
Nah, so LA 3D. So LA 3D was after the recession hit, and I got my job back, and I got back on my feet. What I ended up doing was like, I ended up getting a smaller studio, and I was just like, you know what, this is gonna be my spot, and I'm just gonna design stuff. And so I started designing like furniture. And I was getting into it and all this, and then like once you start getting into it, you start seeing like, you know, the cost of things, and I wasn't really prepared for all that. Kind of like that was my first biggest business lesson, was like funding. How do you get all these ideas out, and how do you make them to reality? So it was like, So I was like, man, okay, like that didn't work, you know. But I had a job, so I still kept paying for this little studio. And I always had my pops on my butt about it, because he was like, man, why are you just giving your money away to this landlord and you're only there maybe like 2-3 hours a day? And he never understood, like, I need a gateway out. Yeah. I need a gateway to just like put stuff on paper, and I can't do it at home because I have distractions with the TV, like, you know, hey, let's do this, or, you know, like, so I needed my own space. And so my partner, Danny, business partner Danny, he came on board maybe like 8 months into it, almost a year. And what ended up happening was we ended up buying this 3D printer, and we were just using it to prototype our stuff. And when we were prototyping, our old school, SciArc, was literally like half a block down. And we know that there's always presentations like right around, you know, Thanksgiving and stuff. And so we decided to go take a walk, and we just to get some kind of inspiration, draw something, like see something, just like something, you know, an outlet. And we ended up seeing all these kids with 3D prints, all these students. They had all these 3D prints, and then we're like, yo, like maybe we should make that machine pay itself off. So went back, printed out like, you know how they put those little things you just pull, you just with the phone number, and you just we just printed a really nice thing, and sure enough, like 3 hours later after we posted that thing, like we had calls, and that kind of was like, whoa, like our first customer was like, man, you're super expensive. We didn't know how to charge.
Yeah,
you know, like this, we were just like, this made sense to me, but then, because this was my cost. But then reality check was like, you're not gonna get any customers like that. And so I still remember these two students, because they were the ones that kind of checked me on my price. Some students checked me. They're like, yo, like, you're not gonna get anything because this is what the school charges. I was like, yeah, but the school has to charge you that. I'm not the school, but like we were like way off, you know? So, you know, I kind of came down and I was like, you know, let's just try to go a little bit above the school, but match it, right?
Yeah.
And so we started getting that. We started understanding that how that works. And we just grew, man. 2012, it's 2019, so it's about 7 years now. And
so that
moment
is what eventually.
Yeah, that's what led up to LA3D.
So then from there, you and Danny, or you were always the lead guy, right? You got your last. I know you just moved into your new spot, the spot prior to it that you were at down at the art district. That's the spot you ended up moving to, and that's where you were at for
7 years.
7 years, right?
So 2 weeks ago we just moved. Yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of like, there was a lot of growing pains.
How did you deal with that? Like I'm on my 5th year, you know, being independent, going through a lot of the same things that you've just expressed, as far as like, you know, I have my space here that I work out of, but you know, I talk about it with Bug and everybody else all the time, even with you, like needing that warehouse space that we've been talking about now for a couple months now, right, that we're looking to expand to. Like, how was it dealing with that and like going through that, and then the ups and downs of like everything falling on you, right? There's everything is on you. The work, the marketing, your money. I don't know if you had already a family at that time.
So that's the crazy part. You know? That's the crazy part. When I first started LA3D and we got our first customers, literally that day, that week, I would say, it was that day, but it was that week, I found out I was gonna be a dad. So I was like, is that like a fire for me to like push this, because that's a fire I need? Or is that a like, yo, like you need to just relax with that idea and then come back and go get another job, you know? And so, of course, I kept it as a side thing, and I wasn't working, so I was able to grow the business slowly. I think the first 3 years, like the first year we doubled that, the second year we doubled that. And then we kind of like, so we were like,
kept advancing.
Yeah, we kept growing, and so it was like, okay, I mean, I guess there's something here, you know. And then I think what kept me there was the customer, meaning I was able to see the process. I was able to see where this customer was going from his initial idea to his like additional study models or other additional options, alternatives, whatever iterations, whatever you want to call them. And it was just like, to me it was intriguing, because it was just like, I was away from design for so long that it was like, oh man, this is dope, you know? And I was doing PM work, which is hardly, you know, related to any kind of creativity, you know? You get creative with like how you're gonna build a schedule and all that, but like, you know, cool. You know, like, so that kind of kept me close to the creative mindset, you know? And because I was there, I still had a job, and then I kept doing this on the side, for like 4 years. And then I had a kid, so I had to like get a job, so I needed their insurance, I needed all this. But you know, when I look at it, when I go back and I look at it, I think if I would have known what I know now, I think I would have been like, you know, I don't need to rush and go get a job to get insurance. like I just need to figure out how to pay for the insurance, right? Because that was like my mindset, like my parental mindset, you know, like that's what it was. But now that I look at it, I'm like, man, I think if I would have spent, you know, a full 7 years just growing my business, I would be in a different place in my life, you know.
How old were you at the time when all that?
31.
31. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were going into that, right, and you were about to make that leap, and that whole process in between getting started, funding, and making that, like, what was
man,
that?
This is a true story, and like I've only shared this with a couple people, but like yeah, I mean that's fine, you know. My mom doesn't know, but so I had the spot just because I got the studio. I didn't like have to like search for a spot. I used to like always go back to my old school because I always wanted to stay inspired with like design, and to me that school was home because it was all about conceptual design, and you know there's a lot of talent that comes there, and then just knowing like the way of that school where they let you develop your own style, your own concepts, like they give you that freedom, that liberty to put that on the wall, and then you know just be able to go and see what other kids are doing, like other students, just like I was maybe a few years back, like what they're doing, kind of like, you know, like I always wanted to be around it. So I got a studio close to that because I wanted to feel like home. I wanted to feel like if I need to go to the wood shop, I had access to that wood shop, you know, so because I've always been a hands-on person. But so I had the spot, and like I said, we got that printer and we were just doing this, and then when we saw that there was like, you know, there was a need for a service to 3D print, because there weren't that many. There was only probably one in that. There was just one.
At the time?
Yeah, there was just one. And then the other one was like in Orange County or something, but the only one in LA. And like we were in downtown, the other one was further west. So we're like, man, downtown's core, so this is where we gotta stay. But you know, we ended up getting whatever profit. So the thing was, I had a job and my partner had a job. So all the money would stay in the business. All the money, like business. we didn't take a check, we didn't take anything from it, and it was like, all right, just keep it going, and we're gonna just buy machines, because we got to a point where there was like we were at capacity with one machine. Like, what were we doing? Like, but with that said, like that one machine literally like set it up for, I would say, like 4 other machines. Like if that machine paid for everything else. So the crazy part is, I've been a bad saver all my life, but I love to spend money, right?
Yeah.
And so my mom had told me, hey, can you hold this money for me? I was like, yeah, no worries. And my partner called me, hey, they're selling the machine over at our old job. And then I was like, oh man, okay, how much do they want for it?
Yeah.
And so I was like, and they were like, man, they're just basically giving it to us for that price. And I'm like, well, how much? And I was like, oh, it's just $2,000. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I was holding my mom's $1,000, and he's like, well, I got $1,000. I was like, well, I got $1,000 too. So you know, we're like, boom, you know, and so we go. And so, you know, Danny was a tech, still is, for a 3D printing company. And so he had access to supplies. So all our consumables, the first round we got for free.
Yeah.
You know, so we were like, and then when we saw the money, like the money looked big. Like I was like, man, we made that money quick.
Right.
Like I was like, man, like, dang, I can't believe these kids are dropping that kind of money. But then when you put everything into perspective and you start understanding how the business works, about 70% of that money ain't yours.
No, okay.
You know what I mean? And so like 30% of that was like, all right, what do we do with this? You know, because we had rent, we had to pay for like phone, you know, everything from phone, internet, yeah, consumables, like, all right, what happens when we use all those consumables? Then we're like, where are we gonna get the money for that? You know, so then we start seeing like this cycle, like, man, like we need to generate like 10 times what we were doing, and I felt like I was busting my chops, like, man, I was like not sleeping.
And
thought the money was good, and so like I was like, you know, I was like, man, making money, but then like man, I gotta put all that money back in. And so I was like, nah, we need machines, and I need to work less, and they need to work more. And that was my mindset, like, get more machines so they can start working more, and you work less. And so that's what we did. That was my goal. So I was like, all right, so we got machines. And yeah, we got like a few machines. I mean, we had like some machines that didn't even work for us. There's machines that we bought that never made a dime for us.
Yeah.
You eat that. You eat that.
Yeah.
You eat that.
Yeah.
And what do? You use them as paperweights.
Yeah.
But the lesson I got from like, you know, spending that kind of money on something that didn't produce was like, you need to really research your next move before you go and you drop it. And so
everything's calculated now, everything's specific.
yeah, I mean, sometimes you kind of gotta go on instinct and just go and gut, like be like, yo, like, just gotta do it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, like, yeah, man, just I would say about 4 or 5 machines were a complete bust.
Damn.
And
that were probably very expensive machines.
yeah, and they never made our money back. I mean, we sold 2 of them, but yeah, that like they didn't financially, the financial stress they put on the business buying them, purchasing them, because we didn't want to buy anything on credit card, so everything was just like paid for. And we didn't see, like, I didn't go to school for business. You know, I went to school for architecture.
Yeah.
They didn't start teaching about the cash flow that your business needs, like how. You know, like, I share them with people. I don't share them with all, but I do share it with, like, you know, especially like my blood. Like, I want my blood to know, like, not because I want them to feel sorry for me or to know like my history or this, but just because, you know, maybe they want to do what I'm doing or something else, but they need to have an understanding because they don't, you know, they don't know. I didn't know, but why not share my knowledge?
Well, look, man, I always enjoy talking to you. Each time we'll link up and we're either talking business or just kind of shooting the shit in a sense. You know, I'm always all ears every time because I try to learn from everybody. I don't ever walk into a situation as if I know everything because I know I don't. I'm still new and learning everything, and so I appreciate your knowledge, man. I appreciate everything that you do. You guys see that on camera?
Yes.
You can see that?
Yes, sir.
Hey, goddamn, you're a fucking genius. Look at this shit, bro. This shit is beautiful. Oh my god, it's beautiful.
It looks nice.
Beautiful, right?
Yep.
Oh, I see what was in here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm saying like get to work, bro. I need this. You got, you have like.
With that being said, get this motherfucking Winter Soldier arm going.
you got like literally like a month to get it done.
Where are we about to be at?
Oh, this is a collab that Wally and I are doing. It's for a Winter Soldier arm. Originally, it was supposed to be for like a more for all our veterans out there, man.
Yeah.
That give us this freedom that we have out here.
So we will be at DesignerCon, which is November 22nd, 23rd, 24th. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, man. Make sure y'all can, if you guys make it out there, stop by the booth, say what's up. I'm excited to get to this project, man, so I can flip this shit out of this along with a few others that we about to unveil there.
Yeah.
It's a secret, so we can't let it all out right now.
Yeah.
But bro, this box is bananas, man. I tell you all the time, but I won't ever stop telling you this shit is beautiful, man. I appreciate what you do.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for all that you do. Honestly, man, from the bottom of my heart, it's incredible work. And I'm honored for you to have made me the official box for the podcast, man.
Man, next time you gotta give me freedom, bro, because I really wanted to do some other stuff, but
Are you serious? Hey, man, I'm open to shit, man. I'm open to shit. Hey, feel free if you want to bless you with another one, shit. You know what I'm saying?
www.la3-d.com.
And social media?
Social media is at LA3D Studio. Yep.
Rene, you're blessed,
sir.
brother.
Thank you,
man. Appreciate you.
Yep.
Bug. Out.
All right.
Ooh!